The outcast bride Commander Ryan Hollow stood alone on the balcony of Earth's galactic embassy, staring at the stars. His tall frame was strong, his uniform sharp, but his face was tired. Behind him, people whispered, officers pointed, ambassadors stared. They weren't talking about his medals or his service. They were talking about her. Vlari. She stood beside him, quiet and still. Her skin was pale silver, and her dark purple robe covered her from head to toe. Her face was hidden under a soft veil. Only her glowing violet eyes could be seen. Vlari was not human. She was Sarati, an alien race once known for their powerful energy, feared across the galaxy. But now, the Sarati were few. They had lost their war centuries ago, and their powers had vanished. What was left were exiles, traitors, and outcasts. Vlari was the last of her line, and Ryan had married her. The galaxy laughed. Some thought it was a joke. Others believed Ryan had gone mad. He had been one of the youngest commanders in the Earth fleet, a hero in 3 sectors. But now, he was a disgrace to some, a fool to others. Why her? They would ask. Ryan never answered them. He didn't care what they said. He saw something in Vlari that no one else could. He remembered the day they met on a mission to a forgotten Sarati temple on a dead moon. Vlari had been guarding it alone, protecting ruins no one cared about. She had spoken little, but her presence had been calm, deep, and sad. Ryan had stayed behind when others left. He had talked to her. He had listened. And somehow, something had sparked between them. Now, months later, they were married. But peace didn't last. The Earth Alliance sent Ryan and Vlari on a diplomatic mission to the neutral station Arvin 6. It was supposed to be safe. Just another political trip. It wasn't. Halfway there, the stars outside their ship flickered. The crew picked up strange signals coded, broken, unknown. Within minutes, 3 dark ships appeared out of nowhere. No flags, no O-rings. Pirates? Rebels? Something worse? The enemy ships opened fire. Ryan jumped into action. The Silver Wind, their ship, shook under the blasts. Crew members shouted, trying to keep systems online. The shields were dropping fast. Vlari walked into the command deck quietly. "Get to safety," Ryan shouted, but she didn't move. She walked to the center of the deck and looked at the main screen. The enemy ships moved closer, charging another blast. Her eyes began to glow brighter than ever before. Suddenly, she spoke. Her voice was soft but strong. The language was old alien. No one understood it. And then everything stopped. The enemy ships froze in space. Their weapons died. Lights went out. It was like time itself had stopped around them. The crew gasped. Vlari. I collapsed. Ryan caught her before she hit the floor. Her body was burning hot, her hands shaking. But her face was calm. "What did you do?" Ryan asked. She looked up at him weakly and whispered, "They were not meant to come. I warned the stars." Before he could ask more, she fainted in his arms. The enemy ships drifted away like broken toys. Not destroyed, but disabled. Something had shut them down without firing a single shot. Ryan carried Vlari to the medbay. The doctors were confused. They had never seen this kind of energy inside someone. It was like a storm trapped in a body. Back on the bridge, the crew whispered, "She has power. She's one of them." No, she's something else. News spread fast. The Alliance wanted answers. Ryan refused to give her up. He didn't know what Vlari had done. But he knew one thing for sure. Now Vlari was not weak. She was not broken. She had power, real power, ancient power, and someone out there knew it. A hidden signal was sent from deep space. The Sarati has awakened. Begin the hunt. Secrets of the Serath Vlari lay still in the medbay. Machines hummed softly around her, but the readings made no sense. Her pulse was slow. Her energy was too high for a normal living being. Ryan stood beside her bed, arms crossed, eyes tired but focused. He had questions, too many questions. But for now, all he could do was wait. She had saved the ship without weapons, without ships, just with her voice, and her eyes. No human could explain that. The med officer, Lieutenant Myra, stepped in and shook her head. I've seen injuries, radiation sickness, even alien parasites, she whispered. But this is like, she's made of pure energy. Ryan leaned closer to Valari. What are you hiding? He whispered. Hours passed. Valari finally opened her eyes. Her voice was weak. They're coming, she said. Who? Ryan asked. The ones who killed my people, she replied. The ones who erased our power long ago. Before Ryan could ask more, the ship's AI interrupted. Commander Hall, incoming message from Earth Alliance. Priority, red. Ryan left Valari to take the call. On screen appeared Admiral Sorn, cold, sharp-eyed, and not happy. Commander Hall, explain what just happened near Sector 12 inches. Ryan kept it simple. We were attacked. My wife, Valari, saved us. Your alien wife used something that froze 3 battleships in space. No weapons. No tech. That's not normal. She protected our people. Isn't that what matters? Admiral Sorn leaned closer. It also means she's dangerous. We're sending a science team. Until then, Commander, you are ordered to keep her under watch. No jumps. No communication outside. Understood? Ryan. Ave, no reply. The screen went dark. Back in the medbay. Valari sat up slowly. Her skin shimmered with light. Her hands trembled as if something powerful moved inside her. They know I'm alive, she whispered. Ryan sat beside her. You need to tell me everything now. She nodded. Her voice was calm. 1,000 years ago, the Serati ruled 3 galaxies. Not by force, but by balance. We had something called Neri, a power from the stars. We didn't create it. We simply listened to it. Ryan frowned. Energy? Magic? Not magic, she replied. It's older than technology. It lives in sound, light, time, and memory. But what happened? Valari looked down. Her voice cracked. The Xerix happened. Ryan's eyes narrowed. They're a myth. No, she said. They were real. They feared our power and destroyed it. They used poison light and machines that crushed star voices. My people fell. I was a child when they attacked our last city. My mother gave her life to protect one. Thing me. And now they know you're alive, Ryan said. Valari nodded. If they reach me, they will awaken something worse than war. Just then, the ship shook. Alarms flashed red. Unknown ship detected. No ID signal. No response. Ryan ran to the command deck. A large, black ship was approaching fast. It had no heat, no sound, like a ghost drifting through the stars. Valari followed him, her eyes already glowing. This is how they hunt, she said. They come silent and fast. The enemy ship launched a small probe toward them. It pierced their shield like it wasn't even there. Suddenly, every screen on the Silver Wind turned black. Then, a strange message appeared. We have come for the last voice. Surrender or vanish. Valari stepped forward. They found me faster than I thought. What do they want with you? Ryan asked. They want what's inside me. The last connection to the Neri. If they take it, they can end time itself. The ship trembled again. Lights flickered. Systems began shutting down. We can't fight this, Ryan said. Not like this. Valari turned to him. Then we don't fight. We run. Ryan blinked. Run? To? Where? To the last Serati archive, she said. A hidden moon called Thalin 4. If we reach it, I can learn to control what's inside me. If not, they will tear this galaxy apart to stop me. Ryan gave the order. Prepare for emergency jump. Set course. Thalin 4. The crew stared at him in shock. Sir, that place doesn't exist in any chart. Ryan glanced at Velari. She knows the way. As the ship began charging its engines, the enemy ship started closing in. Seconds before impact, boom, the silver wind vanished into the stars, but the hunt had only begun. The galaxy watches the silver wind jumped out of hyperspace near a dying red star. Thalin 4, the hidden Serati moon, drifted quietly in its orbit. It looked like a broken rock, gray and cold. Nothing on the surface showed signs of life, but Velari stood on the command deck, her eyes glowing softly. This is the place, she whispered. The last memory of my people is buried here. Ryan gave the order to land. The crew obeyed, but they were nervous. Strange things had happened since Velari's powers appeared. Some thought she was a weapon. Others believed she was a threat. Ryan didn't care what they believed. He only cared about the truth. As the ship touched down, Velari led Ryan and a small team into a deep cave hidden beneath the rocks. There were old symbols on the walls glowing blue, like whispers from the past. This temple is alive, Velari said. It will test me. Inside the cave, strange lights appeared. The team couldn't hear anything, but Velari could. Voices spoke in her mind, voices of old Serati kings, queens, and warriors. Suddenly, a hidden door opened. Inside was a single crystal, floating in the air. Velari stepped forward and placed her hand on it. The ground shook. A flash of white light filled the chamber. The walls showed moving images, visions from the past. Ryan watched in silence as the story unfolded. He saw the Serati rising to power, not through war, but through peace. He saw them guide lost civilizations, heal dying planets, and protect ancient energy across galaxies. Then he saw the Xerics, metal monsters with red eyes. They tore through the stars, burning everything. They feared the Serati power. They called it a threat to order. In the last vision, a child Velari was hidden in a stasis pod, sent into deep space. Her mother gave her the Neri, the last of the star power. The images vanished. The crystal dropped to the floor, lifeless. Velari fell to her knees. Ryan ran. To her. Are you okay? She nodded slowly. I remember now who I am. Back on the ship, the crew received a new signal from the Earth Alliance. Admiral Soren's voice came through. Commander Hall, you are now under investigation for hiding a dangerous alien weapon. You are ordered to return to Earth immediately. Ryan turned off the comm. No, he said, we're not going back. The crew stared at him. Double quote, sir. That's a direct order. I know, Ryan said. But if we return now, the Alliance will take Velari apart, study her like a machine. We're not letting that happen. Some crew members looked unsure. Then Velari stood, her voice calm but strong. I will not hurt anyone. But if I am taken, the balance of the galaxy will break. They will use me or destroy me. Either way, more will die. Suddenly, the sensors picked up another ship approaching fast. Ryan checked the readings. It's a Dominion-class hunter. Xerics. Everyone froze. How did they find us? One officer asked. Velari answered. The Neri leaves a trail. Only they can see it. Ryan clenched his jaw. We have to leave again. But Velari shook her head. No, I need to face them. I'm ready. She walked to the command deck window and reached out her hand. Her fingertips glowed with golden light. Outside, the Xeric ship stopped moving. Then it fired. A blast of dark red. Energy rushed toward the silver wind. Velari stepped forward. Her body lit up like a star. The blast hit a shield she created with. Just her hands. It didn't break through. The crew gasped. "I will not run forever," Velari said. "But I need time," Ryan nodded. "Then we buy you that time." He gave orders to prepare for battle. The crew, still unsure, obeyed. For the first time, they saw Velari not as a threat, but as their last chance. Across the galaxy, cameras picked up the energy blast. News feeds exploded with questions. Who is this alien woman? Is Earth hiding a weapon? Is war coming again? The galaxy was watching, and Velari knew. The real war had just begun. Enemies in the shadows. The stars looked calm from the outside, but the crew of the Silver Wind knew better. Beneath that silence, something dark was hunting them. After blocking the Zarek's blast, Velari fell into a deep sleep. Her powers had grown stronger, but they were also draining her. Ryan watched her sleep in the medbay, her hands glowing faintly, her skin pale. He had never felt so helpless. Every time she used her power, it took more from her. And yet, she kept using it for them. The crew stayed quiet, and no longer doubted her power. But they feared what was coming next. Ryan called a private meeting with his closest officers. They're tracking her through something called the Neri. As long as we're near her, they'll keep finding us. So we leave her? One officer asked. Ryan slammed his fist on the table. No, we protect her. An idea came to him. He called up an old contact, a rogue pilot named Cashin Drake. Drake wasn't part of the Earth Alliance anymore. He had left the military years ago and lived by his own rules now. But Ryan knew Drake owed him a favor. Within hours, Drake arrived in a stealth-class cruiser. "Still chasing trouble, Commander?" Drake said with a grin. "I need a ride," Ryan replied. "Somewhere the Alliance and Zarex can't follow." Drake raised an eyebrow. "And what are you carrying?" Ryan pointed at Velari's chamber. "Hope and maybe doom." Drake stared for a long moment, then nodded. "All right, let's fly." They moved Velari onto Drake's ship and left Silver Wind behind on autopilot, sending it into a false course to distract anyone tracking them. Inside the stealth ship, Velari slowly woke up. Her eyes opened with pain, but she smiled when she saw Ryan beside her. "I saw something while I slept," she said quietly. A place, a temple, floating in black space. "I think it's where they made the Neri." Ryan leaned in. "Can you take us there?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, but we have to go through the void corridor. It's full of gravity storms and dead ships. No one goes there anymore." Drake chuckled. "Sounds like fun." They set course for the void corridor, a twisted stretch of space where laws of time and gravity broke apart. Long ago, hundreds of ships had entered and never returned. As they entered the corridor, the stars around them began to twist. The ship's walls creaked. Time moved strangely. Ryan felt cold, not in his skin, but in his bones. "Are we still alive?" One of the crew whispered. Velari stood, stronger now. She walked to the center of the ship and closed her eyes. She began to sing, not a song, but a deep, strange sound that echoed through the walls. Drake stared at the controls. "Her voice is changing the path." The storms calmed. The gravity pulses slowed. VLA. Ri opened her eyes. The Neri still remembers. They reached a dark corner of the corridor, where an ancient object floated. A broken moon split in half, and at its center, a glowing temple. Velari pointed. "That's it." They landed near the ruins. As they stepped inside, lights flickered. Unlike the temple had been waiting, but something was wrong. In the shadows, metal figures stood waiting. Zarex soldiers. "It's a trap," Ryan shouted. Drake pulled out a plasma gun. The soldiers opened fire. Energy bolts flew through the air. Ryan pushed Velari behind a pillar. "Stay down." But she didn't listen. Velari stepped out and raised her hands. The temple responded. Walls began to shift. A deep hum filled the air. Velari whispered something. A wave of gold light spread through the temple. The Xerix soldiers froze. Then they turned and ran. Ryan stared at her in shock. "What did you do?" "I told the temple who I am," she said. The crew stared at her, eyes wide. "You're not just an outcast, are you?" Drake asked. "VLAR." I looked up at the temple's glowing center. "I'm the last Serati queen, and this is our last weapon." Suddenly, deep inside the temple, a great machine began to rise from the ground. It was not just a weapon, it was a warship. Black, gold, and alive with ancient energy. Velari placed her hand on the ship. It opened for her. "It listens to blood," she whispered. "And mine still speaks." Ryan stepped forward. "What now?" Velari turned to him, eyes brighter than ever. "Now we fight." The power within her, the ancient Serati warship, rose from the temple like a sleeping giant waking after 1,000 years. Its dark gold armor shimmered in the strange light. Long wings stretched from its sides, covered in glowing symbols. It didn't move with engines. It breathed like it was alive. Velari stood in front of it, silent and calm. The ship responded to her presence. Its lights pulsed with the same golden glow in her eyes. "This ship was built for the last Serati queen," she said softly. "But she died before using it." Ryan stepped forward, staring in awe. "And now it listens to you?" Velari nodded. "I carry her blood, and the Neri within me has awakened fully." Drake looked at the ship's long corridors and living walls. This thing could take on a fleet. Velari turned to Ryan. "We may have to. The Xerix won't stop now. They've followed me through space, through death, and now they'll come in numbers." Ryan's voice was calm. "Then we fight back." But Velari hesitated. "I've never used this power like this before," she admitted. "Each time I call it, it burns more of me. I don't know how much I can take." Ryan gently took her hand. "You don't have to do it alone." Velari smiled faintly. "I never thought anyone would say that to me." Suddenly, an alarm flashed across the temple. Drake shouted from the scanner. "They're here." 4 Xerix warships just entered the corridor. "The Bride Who Saved the Stars," written in third person, simple English and full of emotion, action, and a satisfying ending. The stars were quiet again, but only for a moment. Velari sat alone inside the Serati warship, her breath shallow, her hands still glowing faintly. The battle had drained her. Her body was weak, but her mind was sharp. She could feel something moving through the galaxy. Something older than the Xerix. Something watching. Ryan stayed by her side. He could see her fading strength. She had given everything to protect them, yet the danger was far from over. Outside, Drake and the crew worked to repair their own ship. News from across the galaxy was pouring in. The battle in the Void Corridor had been seen. The light from Velari's power had reached distant outposts. Now, the whole galaxy was talking. A Serati queen has returned. She destroyed 4 warships without firing a bullet. Who is she? The Earth Alliance sent urgent calls. Other alien governments demanded answers. Some called her a savior. Others called her a threat. Velari knew time was running out. "There is one place left," she whispered to Ryan. "One place where the Neri can be restored fully." Ryan frowned. "Where?" She looked out the window into the stars. "The Heart Nebula. That's where the Neri was born. If I go there, I can awaken its full power. I can stop what's coming." Ryan shook his head. But it'll destroy you, won't it? Valari smiled gently. Maybe, but if I don't go, more worlds will fall. Drake entered the room. We got a problem, Commander. A massive energy wave is heading straight for this moon. Bigger than anything we've seen. Valari stood. It's begun. The Ancient One has awakened. She stepped onto the bridge of the Serati warship. Its systems recognized her again, lighting up like stars across the panels. I have to go, she said. Ryan looked at her. Then I'm going with you. No, she replied softly. This journey, I must take alone. He stepped closer. You're not alone anymore. Valari looked into his eyes. For a moment, everything else disappeared. Then she touched his chest. A soft pulse of golden light passed from her into him. If I fall, this will protect you. Ryan tried to speak, but the warship was already rising into space. The stars turned. The nebula grew closer, and from its center, a shape appeared, a creature, a being made of shadows and energy. It had no face, no name. It was ancient, older than time. The true master behind the ZAREX. It had come to take the Neri. Valari stood. Inside her ship, her body shook. Her eyes glowed like fire. You tried to erase my people. You hunted me across the stars. Now I stand, not as an outcast, not as a bride, but as the last voice of the stars. The creature roared. Energy burst. Across the galaxy, stars flickered, but Valari stepped forward. Her ship opened like a blooming star. The Neri flowed through her, no longer a curse, but a gift. Her body became pure light, one final pulse. The sky turned white, then silence. Hours later, Ryan woke up on the surface of the moon. The creature was gone. The sky was calm. The warship vanished. Valari was nowhere to be found. Drake landed beside him. The threat's over. The galaxy is safe, but she's gone, isn't she? Ryan looked up. No, he whispered. She became part of the Neri. She is the stars now. Weeks passed. The Earth Alliance ended its search. The Xerix retreated into the dark. Peace began to return. But in the skies above every major world, a new star appeared. Small, golden, softly pulsing. People called it the Bride Star. And those who listened closely swore they could still hear her voice in the light. Valari, once an outcast, once feared, had become a legend. Not just for saving Earth, not just for saving Earth, Ryan, but for saving the stars themselves. Final line. For your video. Ryan's heart pounded. We can't outrun them now. Valari turned to the warship. Then it's time. She walked into the ship's heart. Its walls closed around her gently. Lights followed her steps. The control room responded to her touch, coming to life. The crew watched from the outer ship as the Serati vessel lifted off the moon's surface. No engines. No sound. Just power. From inside the warship, Valari connected her mind to its systems. She felt the enemy four metal beasts racing toward them. She could hear their signals, feel their weapons charging, but she wasn't afraid. The ship listened to her thoughts. It moved as if it were her own body. She raised one hand. The ship responded by turning to face the enemy. Ryan, now in Drake's ship, watched the warship float between them and the Xerix fleet. Valari's voice echoed through the comms. Stay back. I'll clear the path. The Xerix ships fired. 4. Blasts of dark red energy ripped through space. Valari's ship moved in a blur, phasing sideways, dodging every blast. Then it responded. Not with missiles, not with lasers, with light. Beams of golden energy shot from the ship, curving like ribbons through the stars. The first enemy ship cracked in half. The second was swallowed by a silent burst of light. The third fired again, but the shot froze mid-space, locked by a field of energy. Villari's voice was steady. You fear what you don't understand. You tried to erase us. Now, feel what was lost. The final enemy ship turned to flee, but it was too late. Villari's ship pulsed once calmly. The fleeing ship simply vanished. No explosion. No trace. Ryan stared in silence. Drake whispered, That's not war. That's something beyond it. Inside the control core, Villari stood, her body trembling. Her hands were shaking. Her energy was nearly gone. Blood dripped from her nose. She dropped to her knees. I can't hold it much longer, Ryan shouted through the comms. Villari, come back now. That's enough. But she smiled faintly. They're gone. For now. The warship floated quietly, returning to the temple moon. Drake's ship docked beside it. Ryan ran inside. He found her lying in the heart of the ship, pale and weak, but alive. You did it, he whispered, holding her close. Villari looked at him. It's not over. What do you mean? She looked up at the stars. I felt something beyond. The Xerix, something darker, watching from the edge of space. The real enemy has not yet arrived. Ryan's eyes narrowed. Then we need to be ready. Villari nodded. We have one final choice to make. Fight or vanish. Ryan stood beside her. We don't vanish. We never did. Villari took his hand. Then we make our stand. Far away, in the cold corners of the universe, something ancient opened its eyes. It had felt the return of the Neri, and it was coming.